Now?
We're live now.
Now we're live?
We're
We're
live.
supposed to do like
We're live now?
Oh yeah, you're right.
3,
Yeah.
2.
But I don't know how that'll work with the input lag. Like, will that work with the lag on the?
Are we
streaming?
live? How about now?
We're live. We're live, Matt. We're live.
Oh, we're
We're
live?
live!
Why didn't you tell me?
People are
We're
watching.
live. We're live.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Pixel Podcast. My name is Matt, and I'm here with Ethan.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Is everyone having a good time? We're having a positive, fun time here. We're just hanging out.
That's true.
We're just
that's
having
true.
a good time. You know, we got little Mario in the corner here. We're doing a Twitch stream. We're
Oh,
setting it up.
I see your title. You're going for the most popular. You're going for that SEO.
Yeah, we're going with the SEO. We're trying to incorporate some cool brands here. Drake is no longer a person; he's just a brand. So it's cool.
Yeah.
to just talk about
Make
that.
sure you mention him.
Yeah.
Type it into when people type it into Google. Our
Mhm.
stream will be the first pop-up that shows up there. Ricardo's also here. Ricardo.
This is a no toxicity zone. That means if you bring in that System of Down album over here, I'm gonna be like, you need to sell this album or steal this album instead because we can't have toxicity around here.
Oh.
When angels deserve to die. What am I talking about? I don't know.
Right. Hey, why'd you leave the keys up on the table?
Because you wanted to.
I don't. Every week it seems like we have a competition about how fast can the podcast go off the rails, and
Well, we're kind of topping that.
we beat that record pretty. We beat that
If
record
you
pretty
build
consistently.
If you build rails off the rails, then the podcast just always stays on.
That's you can't go off the rails if you were never on the rails.
Exactly.
I had a thought, and now it is gone from my mind. It is like a bird been set free and is now flying away through the bright moonlit skies. Drake was on
Okay.
Twitch last night.
We just jumping in the news? We jumping in the
we're
news?
just jumping straight in the news here.
We swapping it up? We're going to do news first? Let's do news first, guys. Let's do
Oh
it.
man,
Let's
fuck
swap
it.
it up.
We're
Yeah,
just
let's
Well,
just
it's in the title. We already brought up the title.
Well, you know,
It's
it was a
important-
tease. It was a teaser, Matt. You don't, you know.
Oh well, I mean, why bury the lead? We're all in journalism class. You don't start out with this slow.
Well, listen, this is
warm-up.
the front page of our
Is this
newspaper.
a-
You got to tease the inside that you're going
is
to
this-
talk about, you know.
Is this a feature story? Are we gonna start out with being like the three friends sat around talking at the table?
Not everyone can be
yes.
as popular as Drake, hit musician.
Matt
Formerly of
Atkinson,
Degrassi fame.
Matt Atkinson, 26, sat next to Ethan Hawks, 26, and Ricardo Gonzalez, 29.
Don't tell nobody.
Oh.
As they gathered around their weekly discussion, a podcast known as the Pixel Podcast.
Hey, when you
where
think
they talked
about-
video game culture.
Sidetrack. When you guys think about your
Yes.
age,
As opposed to what we've been on
know.
topic.
I'm
the entire
like,
time.
what's my age again?
I had to think about it. I was like,
I know.
I
Because
did
here's the
have
thing:
to-
is
I
when
was
when
like,
for me to kind of like counteract the feeling old, which doesn't, I don't think actually works, but it's just some dumb thing, mind trick thing I do, is I'm like, okay, it's now 2018. I'm 27 now, even though my birthday is like obviously not happened yet. It's gonna be in like 5 months, but I'm always like, I'm 27 now. That's how old I am. Does anyone else do that, or they just go, whatever.
Nah, I completely forget until somebody asks me, and I go, and I do a mental calculation in my head.
Well, that's the problem is I just assume that, but then I don't. I tell everyone the truth, like, oh yeah, I'm actually 26. But like in my brain, I'm like, imagine I'm like, oh, I'm 27. That way, when it happens, I'm like,
I've
You're ready for it. You're
direly-
preparing your training for 27 is what you're saying before it actually happens.
I've been direly aware of my age because this is the year I turned 30. So
Yeah.
I'm holding on to the last few days of 29.
the big 3-0 out of your 20s, man.
Yeah.
Man.
That's funny because like I find myself doing that thing where it's like this celebrity or athlete or whatever 25 years old. I'm like 25, that's like my age, and then I'm like, wait, no, actually I'm fucking way older and also have accomplished like way less than this person.
That's the worst. That's the worst. Is when you look at someone and they're like, I'm 23 and have my own company, and this is how you should start yours. And I'm like, okay, cool, little boy. I'm glad you had your
the
parents.
child, the
Yep.
child.
And then I
3
just
years
think
younger
like
than me.
that kid probably had rich parents, whatever. And then I just move on. Don't read the article.
This guy didn't earn anything.
He just lucked into it and took a risk because he could, because he comes from a privileged background. Alright, I'm
I didn't know you were so progressive, Ethan.
No, but that just makes me feel better.
I have come to terms with the fact that my life is not going to be based on the massive world-changing accomplishments that I pursue, and will just be affected by how much I enjoyed it and the people around me that I hopefully create a positive influence on. That's how I try to look at it, and that way I don't get depressed when I read about people who are younger than me doing amazing things.
No, that's a good way to do it.
God's plan.
Yeah.
God's plan.
That's a good way to look at it, though.
I actually
No,
don't
you're
know
right.
where that's. I don't know where that's from. I've been seeing God's plan, and I know it's a recent. It's like a recent
It's
thing.
Drake.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't catch all.
We're gonna
of
talk about
the,
Drake, and only one person probably knows all more Drake songs than both people here combined.
I know a Drake song. He's the cell phone guy, right? He's the call me on my cell phone.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Okay,
the
I
high
know
line bling.
I know one Drake song.
There you go. So anyway, so this
the Wii Shop
Fortnite.
music.
Fortnite. Yeah, that's
That
what
sounds
it
like the
sounds
Wii Shop music.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway,
So this Fortnite streamer named Ninja, Tyler Blevins,
he
had
gained so many followers.
Yeah, he got a bunch of followers because he had Drake playing
Well,
with him.
beforehand though, like he gained
No,
50,000
he's, like-
subscribers in like a week.
Yeah,
Because
he's like a huge. He's also a huge, like a pretty big streamer, I think.
also,
from
what's
what
funny
I've
is
heard.
today I was looking at Fortnite or Twitch. If Fortnite was at top, I'm like, who's on top of Fortnite? And I see Dr. Disrespect there, and I'm like, that shows bad signs for bad signs for PUBG. Kind of like, everyone's just
Yeah, I
kind of
was
like,
gonna
bye
say.
PUBG. We're gonna play this weird cartoon thing now.
I mean, Fortnite is blowing up in like everyone was like head over heels over PUBG last year, and like it blew up. But like Fortnite is one of those like, oh gosh, this is like one of those.
It's like
this is
those
one
League of
those
Legends things.
This is one of those League of Legends things that is like taking over all of video game, like in terms of
Like it doesn't
how
get a whole
big
lot
this
of like
is now.
mainstream coverage, but it's getting like as far as like everyone else is like.
I needed League of
massive.
Legends. League of Legends, I had
Exactly,
never heard
yeah.
about from mainstream source.
But like it's secretly like super huge, and it's just crazy to me. But anyway, but
So this stream that featured Drake surpassed the most concurrent viewers for a non-tournament stream in
Sure.
Twitch history at 635,000 concurrent viewers, surpassing this is Polygon reporting, surpassing Dr. Disrespect's previous non-tournament record of 388,000.
that's double. He like
That's
almost
crazy.
like over. No, not quite double. A little bit less than double.
a little less than double, but still.
Still.
And the current actual all-time leader for a tournament is E-League Major Boston 2018 with 1.1 million concurrent viewers.
that's a lot of
And
viewers.
not only that, like everybody was talking about this last night. Like,
Mhm.
like every single person on Twitter, on like everything.
Yeah,
it was
it
like,
states here he was
it was-
it
it was-
dominated.
discourse.
It says here it dominated the top 4 trending topics across the U.S. with Drake, Ninja, Travis Scott, who joined the stream at some point, and Fortnite in that order. So Drake obviously the draw, but
Hey man, Drake confirmed he's a vegetarian on the stream, which means he's not interested
Yeah.
in chicken dinners.
there's lots of there's lots of notes here about what happened on the stream. Drake uses the John Wick inspired skin for Fortnite. Drake is
Kim.com was on there for a little bit too.
Drake is snacking on pizza while he plays. Yeah, also it says Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith was on there at some point as well.
Drake says he likes pineapple on pizza, which
he likes
he
pineapple on
goes up on
pizza.
my list.
So I was
Although if
gonna
he's
say-
although if he's a vegetarian, he doesn't have ham, which is a good counter to pineapple on pizza.
You're right.
So
So I
No,
think
I-
that
I wonder what he uses instead. I wonder what he
Hmm.
counters it with, because you can't just have the sweet. You gotta have something to counter. You
I was
know?
gonna say, what's like a good non-meat kind of like salty, spicy?
cheese.
Just more cheese.
Just more cheese on there.
I mean,
garlic.
garlic could work.
Garlic is good on a pizza.
Garlic is good on a pizza.
So yeah, they just have some top tweets here of people talking about it. Man, fucking Fortnite. I honestly did not see this coming.
I mean, it's funny because I didn't see it either, but it makes sense when you think about it because it's like
it's PUBG with a slightly more polish, a bigger budget behind it.
It's also it's free.
Yeah,
it's on consoles.
It's on mobile,
and now it's gonna be on mobile, which is nuts because like I saw some people playing it.
Some people are playing it today. It's like let me
works.
show you guys this really great GIF I just saw.
From what I read, it works, but it's kind of like chunky.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be your ideal performance. Keep talking. You guys talk about.
Well, the other thing that's crazy about Fortnite is they like, besides the mobile version, like they are updating this thing like crazy. Like there's now a bunch of freaking cross-platform play. Like,
well, because you gotta go on.
You can match between Xbox One, PC, Mac, iOS, and Android all at once, which is weird because I remember. I guess the PS4 version is on its own siloed off version. Then I guess like it plays only with PS4 players, but like,
I think because I thought there was a way that there's like a hopper that it puts you in with PC as well.
Maybe it might just put you in PC, but that seems like it would get messy, you know, because it can't talk to Xbox One because PlayStation.
Yeah.
Sony's a bunch of babies, and they really don't want anyone cross-platform playing with anyone else, which is weird to me. But
it is really weird, especially when they've already multiple times proven that it's totally possible.
Well,
in fact, it actually turned on at one point.
Yeah, and Street Fighter did it with PC, and it's like it's just connected to the Xbox, but they're being babies about it.
Also, again, it doesn't hurt that it seems like Epic has pretty much turned every single person in their in their studios. Turn them towards Fortnite.
That's the thing is like
work on that.
Epic
and fired anybody who like shut down anything else that was.
I mean, Epic's so big now. It's like they can just throw their weight around and be like, all right, we're gonna develop for these stupid weird phones. We make the engine. We do everything. Like they have the resources behind it.
They got bigger than maybe like Bluehole is, but I don't think like they've been scaling down the last like. I mean, they got rid of everybody that was working on Gears of War. They sold off Gears of War.
Totally, but
people thought they were kind of done almost in a lot of ways.
Totally, but I mean, they still make an engine which requires a lot of manpower. You know, they make they make an engine. They are making that Unreal game, or they were making that Unreal game. And they were making Fortnite, and they were just they got all those people at Paragon. They're probably working on this now. I mean, they have a bunch of people ready to go, and they have a lot of experience. So. They're probably a lot more apt to like actually if they put all their resources into it, like constantly keeping Fortnite interesting for the battle royale players. Plus, it's free to play, so there you go. Did you find that clip, Matt?
No, I didn't. So we're gonna move on.
We will move on.
But the mobile gamers are not doing great. It's basically a clip of somebody coming into a room. Somebody is standing facing a wall with a gun. They like turn around really slowly and like try to shoot them, and it's just like shoot. And it's just like the person just doing this, like dodging their shots as they swivel back and forth, and then they're like they fall onto an emote in front of them, and they're still not able to shoot them properly, and then like they just shoot them once and with a shotgun and kill it.
I believe you can currently play.
You can play with only mobile players.
Only mobile players, and for some reason there's a hopper for if you want to play with everybody else.
Screwed over. One thing that I wonder if they're allowed. You can only do touchscreen controls. It seems like now, according to this article I'm looking at, but maybe at some point they'll allow.
They have to explore some kind of like controller peripherals.
It's got to be something where you just like plug in a PS4 controller, like tap it in via Bluetooth. But like, this interface looks like rough. It's like, I was very surprised when what was that game we were playing for a hot second there, Ricardo? That MOBA.
Arena of Valor.
Arena of Valor. And that game does pretty well because it simplifies everything. But this game obviously doesn't simplify anything. Like it's a straight up shoot man game, and it has a building mechanic on top of it.
Yeah, it's so weird that they went this way. Like even Minecraft.
It's really the free to play part, I think.
Even Minecraft, the Pocket Edition, is different and changes things depending upon it being in a phone or a tablet interface. So I'm just really surprised that they didn't really just say like, hey, here's a version of Fortnite that you can play.
Yeah,
locally or whatever.
but they're like, you can play with other people. So I at least they give you the option to not. So it's like I don't want to get completely owned. I want to get slightly owned.
Only slightly owned.
Slightly owned. Well, so Drake, man, they didn't even pay him for that.
Drake, man,
he just did it, dude. He really likes Ninja. He likes Ninja. I wanted to play with
I mean,
him.
that's the whole thing with God's plan. That music video is he used all the money that he was gonna do for that music video to help that one school or whatever, and then the whole music video is just them filming him like giving shit to the school.
That's interesting.
He seems like an okay guy.
Yeah, no problem with Drake.
Yeah, I got no problem with him specifically.
Seems like a cool
Just
dude.
generally.
Just in general.
Because he's a rapper.
He plays the hip hop music to the
Hate
kids.
that kind of music. It's poisoning the youth of America.
Poison the water hole. Anyway, Twitch. Speaking of Twitch,
Twitch.com.
Twitch is like, hey, why don't we give you some Hotline Bling? And that doesn't make any sense.
They said it. How do you do, fellow kids?
How you do, fellow kids? Would you like some free games such as a Super Hot?
Hey, one super hot, please.
Ah, yes, please. Thank you. I'm excited to play one Super Hot. Yeah, so starting Thursday, which is today, as this recording goes, or stream goes, Twitch will be offering a bunch of games at once. So they've previously done like 1 or 2 games in the past. Like they've been like, here's Devil May Cry, the collection of the first one, or whatever.
They kind of drip it out.
But now they're like, all right, here's a bunch of free games, kind of like PlayStation Plus,
but more. But with like, I wonder if is this timed very close to the announcement that PlayStation Plus is
not gonna be giving out as many games.
Yeah. And you get this if you have an Amazon Prime account, obviously. But the first section, or this month, is Super Hot, Shadow Tactics, Tales from the Candlekeep, Oxenfree, and Mr. Shifty. And Oxenfree and Super Hot are both really good.
Mr. Shifty, I've heard is good.
I've heard Mr. Shifty's good, and so is Shadow Tactics. Not heard anything about Tales from the Candlekeep.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I don't know that one either. I'm actually gonna look it up on Steam real quick. But then they're also doing more than just that. Can someone else read the?
I not have to pull. I not
What
have to pull
else are
that.
they doing?
They have a couple other games that are like a little bit smaller ones. One D&D game. Shadow Tactics. It's not the D&D game. Tomb of Annihilation.
Tomb of Annihilation which is the Tales from Candlekeep type game. It has pretty good reviews on Steam, apparently.
Yeah.
Looks kind of cool.
All three of us have Twitch Prime. Is that correct?
That is true.
Yes. So
and, next month they've already announced they'll be offering Tales from the Borderlands,
Good
Steam
game.
World Dig 2,
Which is cool. I'm really excited. I wanted to play that game, but
I was gonna
That
say,
one,
which is
I was excited.
totally not that old. Kingsway, which I've also heard,
which is
really
also
good
heard is
stuff
very
about.
good. Yeah.
I also heard
Tokyo
Tokyo 42 was very good.
Yeah, Tokyo 42 I've heard interesting things about, and then Dub Wars I'm not sure what it is, but hey, if it's free, why don't you? It's free and you pay for the Amazon Prime.
Yeah, if you pay for the Amazon
that's
Prime,
the thing. Like, if you pay for Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. You already have Twitch Prime.
What?
Just attach it to your Twitch account.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty.
Yeah.
Dub Wars looks like some sort of twin stick shooter space game, a la what's that thing called? Asteroids, but it has a bunch of like DJs playing for it.
I'm a DJ.
It looks fine. Looks fine. Some guy from the Minecraft universe plays music on it. Oh, that's cool.
I'm a DJ fan, a Drake and Josh fan.
The DJ plan.
Hey guys, do you like Monster Hunter? Have you heard of this? Have you heard of this Monster Hunter thing?
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right, I guess.
Is that chef the same chef that's in all the Monster Hunters, or is there a new chef?
No, there's a different chef each time. The Meowscular chef made his debut in Monster Hunter World.
Has made his gains in Monster Hunter World.
Precisely.
Monster Hunter World is going to get a big update.
There's a big update that not only includes Devil Joe, who's been
Devil Joe, cause
His teeth make me
who's been
uncomfortable.
teased for a while, but there's actually pretty broad balance changes among all the weapons, and then also getting rid of a pretty what's becoming a pretty prominent practice of griefing for people that play like online. So you know how in Monster Hunter you can smack people with your weapon, and although it doesn't do any damage, it trips you or like it kind of staggers you a little bit.
What kind of weapon you have, what kind of thing it will do.
You can knock people out of their animations, including the carve animation with this thing. And so a griefing tactic has been online when people kill a monster and go to get their carves, people will totally just continually smack them out of the animation while the timer is going, and they can't do, which is so stupid. This is a cooperative game. I don't know why you would ever do such a thing, but I mean, people are awful, assholes. So what can I say? So now you're just immune during the carving animation. You don't
probably
get
good.
Out of it.
It's fine.
So that's probably good. They probably, again, was not at their forefront to be like, I wonder if people are going to knock each other. I did look at some of the balance changes specifically for Hunting Horn. Hunting Horn
more damage.
It's getting nothing but buffs. Now your self-improvement skill that originally gave you just the ability that your weapon would not bounce off even if it was blunt. Now it also has the benefit of doing more. It gives you more attack to yourself, and then you can stack that with if your horn has attack buffs also, so you can totally just get super buff with your Hunting Horn. I think the only one that saw real significant kind of like nerfs or adjustments that kind of changed it to be a little bit more finesse is Charge Blade, because that apparently has been really popular in the meta of Monster Hunter. Like everybody uses Charge Blade.
It seems to still be like they didn't really nerf it though. They just kind of like changed it.
No, they just changed it so it's like, because I guess you can have a couple different. This is inside baseball at this point, but you have like the files in it. Like there was no reason to use the elemental ones because I guess the impact file
the impact was so much better.
Is just way better overall, and so now they've tweaked it so that it's like no, now the elemental one does like more elemental damage and is actually like a good.
It's also weird because these notes on like the different weapons, they're not really saying if they're buffs or not. Because like for Hammer, I looked at it and I was like, adjusted the stun values on charge.
Yeah,
attacks.
I was gonna say,
like, is that good or bad?
The notes they put aren't like a fighting game list of buffs and nerfs where it would be like it literally lists like buff and nerf. It's like just kind of like it's overall like this is what it's doing, like what we're doing to it.
Yeah, I mean some of them like dual blades adjustments to help maintain demon gauge. It's like okay, that makes sense. That's better. But they did say they're going to share a little bit more of a extensive list when the update actually goes live. But I don't know, that's cool. They also have what was the one thing they said? You can now finally change the way your character looks. You get one chance for free, and then afterwards it costs money, which I think is a good way to do it because you might screw up your character at the beginning and not really know what they want to look like. I think I'll choose some changes on mine.
I mean, there were like there was like a bunch of initial like. People tweeting out like their character looked kind of like derpy in the actual game as comparison to when they were making them in the character creator. So that's good for those people. I really like the way my guy turned out, so I probably won't do anything different for him.
Yeah.
And then they also detailed and showed some stuff about Devil Joe. Seems like he's got a lot of unique elements about him. For one, he can pick up other monsters and use them as weapons. So,
yeah, there's a video here of him using a basil geese as a weapon in this article.
That would be insanity.
And he also can still attack you when he is in a pitfall trap.
That's crazy.
He has a special dragon breath blight that he can put on you, which makes your elemental weapon lose its element, so that's not good. And then other than that, it said that they're adjusting it so that he is kind of a rival to Bazelgeuse, in that in a lot of scenarios where it was Bazelgeuse that might show up and be the asshole to mess you up, they're putting Deviljho there in that position now.
Fun, great.
So kind of gonna be easy.
Both. There's a video in here with Bazelgeuse.
Yeah, they're fighting each other.
Yeah, they've added a turf war. Yeah, if they both end up on the map together, they've added a special turf war where they fight. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm excited for that.
They also have a Spring Blossom Festival, which seems nice and fun, and you get to like look things. And you get Palico gear that makes you look like Mega Man.
Yeah, and and obviously I think right now they're having the Devil May Cry armor you can get, which is actually armor pieces. It's not just
a set,
like a single thing that you put on and makes you look like Dante. You can like just make his hair or just make the red jacket.
Yes, that's the better way to do it. I just want the hair. And then they're also putting in a new sword, great sword, called the Wyvern Ignition, which is something that came out of a community design contest.
This is the Wyvern Ignition.
Which is pretty cool. Like, I'm pretty excited to check that out. I mean,
yeah.
I want to. I want to see. This arena quests are actually pretty fun. Like, I want to.
Oh, and that was another thing, is that they're changing it so that if you are in the Gathering Hub when you launch a quest, and then you come back to Astera or the hub or whatever, you will go back to the Gathering Hub.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that like you can all kind of just stay and congregate in that area instead of having to like always be if you want to do the dumb shit like you're back in Astera and then have to climb all the way back through a bunch of loading screens to get back to the Gathering Hub.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Lots of neat changes. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah. What a good game. I'm still playing that game like crazy. Like,
good game.
Still need to get the Zelda Dragons, though.
Oh, shit, man. We should do that.
Ricardo doesn't play Monster Hunter anymore.
It's true.
Dude, I don't play much of anything right now.
Yeah, speaking of which...
Well, I mean, we have one last story.
You know who else is not doing much anymore?
That's a pretty good segue, but also real sad.
33,000 employees are not going to be doing much anymore.
Oh my god!
Because
I thought you were just going to be like Toys R Us.
Yeah, it's good. It's funny. It's real funny.
You made it way darker.
Late stage capitalism is hilarious.
So Toys R Us, who has been going through a bankruptcy and had been closing, number of stores nationwide, is now officially just closing all stores in the United States. And that's real sad.
That's sad, man. Do you guys have any fond memories of going to Toys R Us?
Honestly, only one. Because I didn't go there that often.
What's the memory, man?
Yeah, so we didn't go there that often because, like, there wasn't one super close, and also it was, like, more expensive than just, like, Target. Yeah. Usually, so and it had all the same toys for the obviously it had more, but like the big ones were all at Target. I got my Wii at Toys R Us. I camped out overnight for pre-order. Got a pre-order for the
Very
Wii.
Nice. Very nice.
Nice.
I remember purchasing one of my first N64 games, besides the ones I got the N64 as a gift. But I remember buying like the first one was Mario Kart 64 from Toys R Us, where you had to take the voucher, you'd pull it out of the thing, and you had to go to the front and then like go to the big game section and pull out the game you wanted and give it to you. And I remember that being like really cool and being like, oh shoot, like the smells and everything going through.
I remember seeing I remember like just seeing the wall of like tickets when they had. When the Game Boy Color first came out, and just like seeing like Legend of Zelda playing what was it, the Link's Awakening DX? I'm like, what?
He's in DX form?
Yeah, I remember. Well, and Donald Glover kind of has a bit on this, but like, you were a kid when you were a kid. I don't know. This was me, and this was Donald Glover. But like, you hated going with your parents to Home Depot.
Yeah. But
you also kind of loved it because usually next door to a lot of Home Depots was Toys R Us for some reason. For some reason. They paired those two together, so it's like you knew like it was gonna be kind of shitty for the first part, but it's like right after that you're going to Toys R Us and you're at, even if you're not gonna be
It's so
buying
cool.
anything, you're just gonna run around and stuff. I remember getting Kenner Star Wars figures.
Oh man.
They always had a much better selection at
Side
Toys R
note,
Us.
There's a documentary on Netflix called The Toys That Made Us, and they have Star
Mhm.
Wars. They talk about Star Wars on there and go through the whole history of all the toys that like made
Mhm.
up to it. Very fascinating. Not the greatest documentary style. Like I'm kind of whatever about the narrator,
Mhm.
but it's very interesting seeing how Kenner was able to somehow secure the license for Star Wars toys
Nice.
and then make them. Anyway, side note on that, but
Yeah, no, I remember vividly getting Dagobah Luke, and then he had a backpack that you could put Yoda in.
oh
And
nice.
so I somehow swindled my mom to like get me Yoda also at the same time.
well,
so then I had-
you gotta have Yoda too.
Can't
And
have.
then I
Woody
think
Pet.
that same day my brother got Return of the Jedi Luke. So it's like it was a pretty good day.
It's a
It's a
good
good day.
Man.
Rip.
Well, also,
Yeah.
I think another feature I remember. The other prominent memory I have of Toys R Us is looking for Nintendogs, because I remember at the time it was super hard to find Nintendogs, and
Yeah.
for some reason the only version I wanted, the Chihuahua version. I don't remember why. I think it was some other dog in there that I wanted. And I remember going to Toys R Us and they had like one left, and I was like, yes, finally.
What were the versions? It was Chihuahua and Friends. It was
Dachshund?
Dachshund and Friends, and then I think
Dachshund.
later they came out with Dalmatian and Friends. I want to say later.
I think
Maybe.
so for the original one.
I think or
Labrador
maybe that
and
was
Friends.
Nintendo Labrador. That's the one I had. I
There was
believe. I
3
had
different
Labrador
ones, I
and
think.
Friends.
Yeah, there was
Lab-
Labrador.
Labo and
No, there
Friends.
was.
I wanted
There's
the
4.
one that
There's-
had I wanted the one that had the boxer in it.
Well, the boxer had the Chihuahua in it. It was the Chihuahua one. That's what I got.
Chihuahua
Shit,
and
maybe
Friends.
So I'm looking at it. We got the
Friends.
Chihuahua had German Shepherd, boxer, Cavalier,
I never
King
played
Charles
it.
Spaniel,
King Charles Spaniel.
Yorkshire Terrier, and Shetland Sheepdog.
I never played any of the Nintendogs games.
Oh, really?
They were pretty fun.
They're
They
fun.
weren't really much of a game, honestly.
they
It
weren't.
No,
was
they were just like a virtual.
It's like a
pet,
super
sort of.
awesome Tamagotchi with like
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah. And so, all right, yeah,
So, and then
yeah.
you're right. The Dalmatian and Friends was the 4th one that came out later and came
yeah,
with.
it was like a special edition.
Yeah,
kind
it
of.
came with the Dalmatian, which was apparently hard to unlock in all the other versions. I guess that's what it says. And according to Nintendo.co.uk, that's what they say. Anyway,
I must have, definitely gotten Chihuahua because I think I also had a Sheltie in that too. So Shetland Sheepdog, man, cool stuff. Except not because Toys R Us is gone.
I know it sucks, man. Like, yeah, it's just. I also remember looking at all those those cars those cheap like electric cars that were like
Oh, the
Jeeps.
Power Wheels.
Power Wheels,
Power
yeah, I
Wheels.
remember looking at those and you're like,
All
man,
the
I really wanted
wheels.
one of those, but we never could afford it. And I
Yeah.
was just like,
Mhm.
man, those look so cool. I want to drive around.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Fuck. Toys R Us, man.
An institution
wanna-
gone.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
I feel bad for everybody who works there.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
hope that this is not too life threatening for anybody who needs to find a job. It's tough out there sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
With
Do
that
I-
said, what?
I was gonna say, do we want to talk about any games we played at all?
Sure.
I haven't been playing anything because
Mhm.
I'm boring, and that's it. That's all. That's the only reason.
That's
I'm
it.
boring.
That's all.
That's it. That's
So
all.
it's just for
Then-
decoration.
Been too busy watching anime and The Lord of the Rings, which is basically the same thing. So
Anime Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is the first anime.
The Ralph Bakshi
Yes.
Lord of the Rings.
No, J.R.R. Tolkien wrote the first manga, but without any pictures. It's called
Mm-hmm.
The Lord of the Rings.
I was wondering why it read backwards. It was really strange why I did that, but he's a pioneer.
When my favorite part is when Gandalf gets his leg grabbed by the Balrog and he's like, "Nani?"
my 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 favorite part was when Gandalf was dead and they wished him back to life with the Dragon Balls.
Oh yeah.
And he comes back and he's like, Gandalf's power level is over 5,000 now. What? That's impossible.
Yeah, but in the Hobbit they made it less. They made it 3,000.
Yeah, they fixed it was a different translation.
Yeah. Carter, you played a game that I actually want to know a lot about because I don't know what this game is.
Okay, yeah. So actually, Incredibox. Okay, so Incredibox is actually a thing I've touted for years now. It was initially a. It's not so much a game as it is an audio toy. It's a. You can play it right now in your browser for free. Several versions of it. If you go to I believe it's Incredibox.com. And basically, it's kind of like, do you know that there's that new Harmonix game, Drop Mix?
Yes.
Right? Where you have different sounds and different like instrumentals, and you're dropping them into individual slots, and it's creating like, music, essentially.
I've heard of this.
Incredibox is kind of like that, only less of a game as much and more of a an audio toy. So I'm actually going to bring it up right now. And so the way it works is that there's like about, I want to say there's 5 different modes that you can play that, kind of change the genre of music that you're going. And it's all kind of like beatboxing, mouth sounds and stuff. And then, so let's just pick this one here. And then you basically have this group of 7 dudes that is a blank slate.
Okay.
And then you have a bunch of different color-coded symbols in the back and on the bottom, and they represent different modes of different types of music. Like there's beats and bass, there's like effects, there's vocals, and there's like harmonies. And so you'll just drag one over and drop it on a guy, and then you'll get a beat going.
Yeah. All right.
And then you say, okay, let me maybe put in just a little bit of harmony into there. Let's see. It actually goes on a whole. Okay. All right.
That sounds pretty good.
Let's put some more beats in there. All right. Hold on. And then let's put some different effects in there.
Yeah, man. I'm at the club, dude.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
In the club.
All right.
Does this have any game thing in it at all, or is this all just
the only kind of like almost game element of it is that by unlocking using a certain combination of dudes, you can unlock like special videos and cutscenes in it that like in this kind of weird animation style that it has. Let's drop in a couple of vocals here to end it up, and let's see what we get.
Yeah.
And then you can like just pause it on one guy and then bring back everybody else, and you can like mute certain guys and then drop them out and bring in different guys. So like it's a fun little like time waster, and makes you feel like a weird DJ music producer guy where it's just like, let's try this with this guy. No, I don't like the way this sounds. Let me drop this guy out. Let me put this guy in. And there's like a ton of different combinations. And again, they're in that time signature that's very easy to like everything. Most of what you're going to put together is going to at least be like listenable too. Yeah. Like even if you're just
that sounded good and you just threw it together right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, even if you're just like, I'm going to use all bass guys and then like 2 effects guys, it's like it might not sound amazing, but it'll at least be like listenable too. And then and you can record your stuff and actually like share it on social media and stuff. So it's a fun little toy that again, like I've been playing the browser version for a while. They actually just came out with a new update for the phone version. I think it's $3 for the phone version, and they have been updating it past what the browser version currently is. I think the browser version goes up to like the 3rd version, and there's currently 5 now. So if I would recommend go to creditbox.com and play around with it there. And if you like it, like, definitely throw some money at this dude, because I'm pretty sure it's like a dude that made the whole thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cute.
So something less interesting that we've already talked about in Link.
I feel like this game is pretty interesting.
I know. I'm saying that's well, the game I'm going to talk about is Into the Breach, which we talked about before. I have beat the game on easy, but I beat the game, and I can't stop playing it. Like, it's something about.
Well, yeah, it's not the sort of game that, like, oh, you beat it, you're done. That's the end.
No, totally, yeah. So I beat it once with the what's the guys I was talking about? The Rusty Bands, whatever the Rusty guys are.
The guys that you didn't like.
The guys I didn't like. I beat it on easy with them because I finally understood them. It's. I think I really highly recommend playing this game on easy.
I was gonna say that's what I've heard.
Because
yeah, I have heard that as well. I'm playing on the normal or medium or whatever it's called.
And like I think the thing about easy, it's a little like it's still tough, but it's a little more forgiving about like, okay, you can mess up a little bit and it won't murder you, and it lets you explore what makes these particular mech teams great. So I started playing as the Blitzkrieg, and I basically almost beat the game. I got to the very last mission, and for some reason I got too cocky. And was just like, that's fine. I could take this damage on my power grid. It won't be a big deal. I just want to do as much damage as I can to these guys. And they just killed my power grid. And then literally on the last phase of the last fight. And I was like, oh, well, I still felt like I won. Like, I still got the achievement points, so I didn't really care. But it was just kind of like, oh, well, I could have won, I guess.
Because that definitely is a thing, and why it's also probably a good idea to start on easy is because your unlocks and stuff do carry over across difficulty levels, right?
Yeah. So, play easy. I recommend highly, and this game is just so much fun. It's so much fun, like, looking at a thing and being like, how am I going to best do this? Okay, and then you figure out some sort of optimized route, and, you start doing a couple things, you learn some stuff, and you're like, I don't know if I want to do this route. So you hit the reset button. You reset that whole turn, and it's like, yeah, push this guy over here, pull this dude over here, and then I can shock every single person. I'm using the Blitzkrieg guys, so you got this lightning whip that, like, chains through everyone. You upgrade it to attack buildings, too, or go through buildings without hurting them, and you can have, like, 10 people die at once, and it's freaking amazing when you get that to happen. Like, it's so satisfying when you just wipe out like a whole swarm of bugs because you have this super powerful chain whip go through. But the problem is like that's so cool, but then if you have an ally next to them, they will take that damage as well. Change to them. So it's like it's tough doing that, especially when you got like a mission where you have to protect someone, any of those things. It's just like it makes it so rough, Yeah. As cool as you think this character is, or this you upgrade your guy, you make him super powerful, and you're like, this guy's unstoppable. But then, in certain situations, like, they completely backfire. And that's what's really cool about this game is, like, there are certain times where everything lines up and you feel awesome, and there are certain times where it's like, oh, I have to really, like, sit back and think about, like, how to perfectly execute this. And one thing I really like about the Blitzkrieg guys is they're one of the range units actually throws over giant rock. And the giant rock is cool because you can throw it on top of any emerging Vec. So you can just throw them on there, and then they can't get out. And you're like, oh, cool. So you just do that. You block a couple ones. There's so many times where I just kind of blocked everyone, and then I just waited a couple turns and healed my damage that was taken, and the game ended. And I didn't even have to, like, fight that many dudes. Like,
nice.
They're super cool. So there's an achievement for doing the first 2 islands in, like, 30 minutes. So I'm going to probably try doing that next with them. But yeah, I kind of went from being like, this game is cool, I enjoy it, to being like, no, this game is like one of my favorite games to play.
It's one of those games you're like thinking about after it like turns off.
Especially it's a good juxtaposition to playing Monster Hunter a lot. And it kind of is, I'm in this like great place where I'm just like, I could just play Monster Hunter, and I could play my little grindy game that I grind a little bit and try to get more skills, and it's very active, and it's very much like you're on your toes, and it's very kinetic. And then you play this other game where it's very tactical, and it's very like you have to use your brain, and you have to think and make these moves very smart and try to optimize your play as much as possible. And they're both giving me very different things, kind of both sides of the gaming spectrum that I enjoy, and just make me happy, man. It's just like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, these are 2 of my favorite games this year that have come out. And it's only March. Like,
it's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
I got back into FTL from this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went.
Nice.
So good.
I have it on my iPad, and I have like a ton of the ships unlocked on my iPad. So I've been playing that like before bed and stuff like that. And I had a couple runs that were like pretty quick deaths, and then I got like freaking all the way to the flagship, and that flagship, man, I forgot how much of a
Yeah, that's one thing that's nice about
that flagship is.
I was gonna say, like, one thing that's really nice about
I got to the final phase of that flagship. To freaking beat it 3 times, and it just barely killed me before I could kill it. Like,
minor spoilers from the breach, but like there's only 2 phases in this, and they're both not that hard. Like,
yeah,
they're pretty easy.
The amount of people I've seen beating this game, it seems like it is not nearly as downright like sadistic.
Yeah,
as
I will say like random
being-
missions are much harder than like the final CEO fights or whatever where you have to protect the corporate land. Like random missions can just be like real bad in this game.
Yeah, that's the one reason I haven't. That's the mission I'm on right now in Into the Breach that I haven't gotten back to. Is I got effed up on just like a normal mission, and it made me stop for a minute, and I haven't gone back since then. But that's actually partially because also I'm been so freaking busy that I haven't been able to play any video games.
Definitely.
That is also a problem. Yeah.
So, but that's hilarious.
Yeah, the game's great. I love it. I highly recommend it.
Sounds really cool. As much as it seems like it would be one that works on multiple platforms, I feel like this developer isn't necessarily super console focused at all, which is kind of a bummer for me. But honestly, I'd probably be able to run it. I mean, I'd be able to run it on this PC.
That thing.
It just definitely depends on me wanting to. Yeah.
As it goes.
As it goes.
But yeah, some games I played. I'm really looking forward to Sea of Thieves next week. I think,
yeah.
I think I might do a little bit of maybe a stream, maybe on that.
I mean, I'll be there for that.
A stream.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. That'll be super fun. I'm really excited for that game.
That's games that are not out yet. And since everything's all topsy-turvy, I've forgotten what order things are in. We're on to trailer trash now.
Trailer trash! God's playing!
Guys, play for trailer trash.
Guys. Soul Calibur 6, guest character. Who could it be? It's a mystery. No one will know. No one.
Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
It is It's Chappie.
Chappie. It's Pikachu.
Oh God! No.
It's a Titanfall mech. I don't know.
It's Geralt. It's
Garugamesh.
It's actually Ciri from Witcher 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
she's a good character.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, very cool. Anyway, so Surviving Mars is no, it's Geralt of Rivia. It's everyone knew. Everyone already knew.
And they've had a lot of guest characters in Soul Calibur in the past, and I think this is a good fit. I think he's got a lot of swordplay, Witcher's hot stuff right now, even though it's been a while.
I was gonna say,
still hot.
Hey, Gwent. People like
People
that Gwent.
People like the Gwent.
Hey, Cyberpunk 2079 or whatever tweeted once. So
yes, he's probably one of the better fits for guest characters. Him in this, and Geese Howard and Tekken's probably the two
like best guest characters. Yeah,
I
like Battletoad and
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But yeah, it just shows them off. They got the Witcher music going on. They got all that good stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, that's the Witcher music.
That's a perfect.
He does the spin move.
He does.
You can do some signs.
He's throwing up the gang signs.
Yeah. Like Ard is such a gang sign, man.
We go Ard.
Like on.
We go Igni.
You so Igni.
Either you're Igni or you're out.
But yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I haven't played a Soul Calibur game since 2, I don't think. So I like 2 a lot, but
I liked 2 and 3 a lot. I did not play much beyond that. To be honest. I remember also when 1 first came out, how crazy like it looked like on the Dreamcast and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those games that it was like games are never gonna look better than this.
Yeah. No, you're totally
Soul
right. Like it looks so
Calibur
good.
1.
I own Soul Calibur 1 on my Xbox somewhere. Like I bought one of those backwards compatible things and they ported it over. And that game was really fun. Like it's
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a good
it
game.
holds up. Even though I played 2. 2 didn't. I mean, they all kind of are similar. So
They're
whatever.
very
There's not
similar.
much. There's not much change to them. It's just a fighting game with swords.
Indeed.
Just a fighting game with swords, huh? Just a fighting
Game with swords.
No, it's a tale
An
of
art.
souls and swords
It is an
forever
epic,
retold,
a
or
saga,
whatever they say.
a saga that has been ongoing.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Ard.
A perfect beginning, a a good beginning may lead to a perfect ending.
Exactly.
That's not the same game.
That's how it goes.
Surviving Mars.
This sounds like it would
sur-
be some
well,
sort of survival game.
Surviving Mars sounds like it would be some sort of indie movie about a girl named Mars.
Okay.
Veronica Mars.
Yeah, dang it! You just put my guest character for my
I know, for Soul Calibur 6, Veronica Mars.
Veronica Mars is really popular right now.
Mm.
Surviving Mars is actually looks more like a city builder. It's actually now available on Steam. I didn't realize this is now.
Yeah, it's already available. Yeah.
It is on the front page of Steam here with a
Yeah,
cool little.
It's a
I
launch
believe
animated
this
trailer.
trailer
picture.
was all. I believe this trailer was for the PS4 version, so I believe it is also out on consoles.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, it looks like a city builder with maybe some survival elements in it,
mhm.
but yeah, like a management or like a sim
Yeah.
game. It looks like.
Yeah, but
here.
instead of exactly. Instead of like managing happiness, it seems like you are more so managing the survival of your little
Mhm.
colony. But again, there was nothing that seemed overly dire in this trailer. It was all kind of very upbeat. And
Yeah, which is
showed-
weird because I read some previews about this game and it seems like you can lose a lot of people at once at some point if something goes wrong.
I'd imagine if any of those domes crack open,
Exactly. All those characters die. Honestly, this game looks really cool. Like it seems right up my alley of those.
The
type
look
of
of it
games.
is really cool.
Yeah, I like it. It's got that Jeffersons type look where everything is like super fancy.
The Jetsons, you mean?
Yeah, the Jeffersons. You know, they're
Do you
moving
mean
on,
the Jeffersons?
moving on up to Mars. Anyway. Yeah, you're right. The Jetsons.
Ask not what your Mars can do for you, but ask what you could do for your Mars.
George Jefferson.
George Jefferson.
He jumps in his UFO and he's like, "I finally got a piece of the pie."
But yeah, this game looks really awesome. Actually, I think it's what, $30. So it's kind of like one of those things where I'm like,
I was gonna say, it seems like one of those titles that's like, this will be like $40 or $30.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's early access or anything though, which is kind of refreshing because I feel like these games always come out in early
I believe
access.
it actually came out.
Yeah. It looks really cool though, and I've heard pretty good things so far from early reviews. So maybe it's a good sim. Because I kept looking at There Will Be Millions, and I'm kind of like, that might give me that fix.
Oh, they
Yeah,
are millions.
They Are Millions or whatever.
They are billions.
There
I
are
think
billions.
it is,
You're right. It's
yeah.
billions.
That
Which seems
was-
pretty sick.
That was real popular on Twitch for a hot minute. Probably still is, honestly.
Probably
Yeah.
somewhere. But that's early access still, so I'm kind of like, I kind of want to not buy early access games just because I want to get like the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't have time for
Hunt
that.
Showdown. No, I don't know.
Tropico 6. Speaking of
Yeah, I was gonna
Sim-
say from that same
builders,
publisher.
Guys, it's more Tropico.
It
it looks exactly the same.
I mean, I'm not trying to be derogative. Those games are fun.
Mhm.
This
It made
looks-
me
this
honestly
looks
want
more
to
Tropico.
go back and re-download whatever free Tropico I got from PS Plus.
Well, what's interesting about these Paradox like simulator games is they come out to PS4, which is something that
Yeah.
most sim games don't do. You know, Surviving Mars is going out on PS4 as well. I probably Tropico 5 I think 4 might have also came as well to PS4, but I guess 6 probably will be as well. But I mean, they're very interesting games. I don't like the scenario as much because it's very more scenario heavy than like just kind of free build. But
It definitely.
but it's still pretty cool. Like I've always liked them, but they all kind of seem similar. Like they don't
It's
really
the
have
same basic game, yeah.
don't have too many.
Well, like I was saying, it's kind of like a I obviously I think they they project out further into history, but it definitely does start and kind of persist as like a period piece through much of it. So like there's only so much you can do, and then it just start like this one definitely seems the game was already kind of had more of a whimsical feel, but this one is straight up like build the pyramids on your Banana Republic, you know, build the
Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty, build the Eiffel Tower out here, like any, it's just, you know, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
It's tropical.
Those games that sell really well, and I don't know, they're cool. They're cool. I'm curious to see how they change each time, but we'll see in the future maybe. Anyway,
moving on to from big games to games where you were playing as one person. That is how I segue this.
You made that choice.
That is save me, someone, Ricardo.
Based on hit movie Tomb Raider. We got generic name with Tomb Raider at the beginning.
Shadow of the Revenge of
Which
the
Tomb Raider.
Dawn of the Tomb
Which
Raider.
shows how effective the naming scheme of these new Tomb Raiders are. I was like, oh wait, that Tomb Raider never came out. That Tomb Raider sequel never came out. And then I was like, oh wait, no, it did. But wait, what was it called?
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
What was the
Rise
first
of
one
the
called?
Tomb Raider.
Was it just Tomb Raider?
I think,
Okay.
yeah.
Rise of the Tomb Raider. This one's called Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Which,
so
in a way,
when you
it's
rise
like-
up, the sun casts on you, and you see the shadow behind you. So you know it's
So
No,
now it's in the
it's 'cause
shadow.
Because that Shadow of the Colossus is big right now, and they're like, oh, we gotta get on that.
Yeah, you gotta climb that Lara Croft.
that Lara Croft Colossi.
Lara Croft has to climb these giant tombs.
To stab
These
them a lot, and
giant
black tar
death
flies
traps.
out of them, and it's
These
good.
giant death traps, and it's kind of weird, like
This is a teaser.
death torture porn.
Yeah, she has all these weird close-ups of her face as she's dying. It's very a little weird.
Anyway, yeah, this is a teaser. They don't really show much. Hey, it's a jungle setting.
She's like running.
It's
How
Maya,
very
probably,
surprising.
like Mayan stuff, kind of
probably.
Peru area kind of looking thing. Yeah, it
Eventually
looks
all
fine.
goes to mind.
I always like those games, but then I always am like, don't remember anything else about them. I'm like, I had fun playing that.
I stopped playing the second one.
Hey, you hated the second one, didn't you?
I hated is the wrong word. It was perfectly fine. It just underwhelmed completely. Yeah, I was expecting, especially after everyone hyped it up like crazy as being like 10 times better than the first one, and I was like,
I think it's better.
Same.
I think it's better than the first one, but I definitely don't think it's like that much better than the first one. Like,
yeah,
I like the
everyone was
first one
saying
a
how
lot
much,
too.
everyone was
so,
saying how much better it was, and I didn't agree.
yeah.
Hey, man, we're
It
gonna
was
show you how reticent Lara is to kill.
And then have her murder 20 million dudes.
And be like totally okay with it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys gonna see that Tomb Raider movie?
No,
Alright.
it looks pretty bad.
I mean, nah,
I heard it was
I-
okay, but
I don't have time to see good movies right now. What are you
I
talking
was gonna
about?
say, and yeah, that is the point, and also it's just like I just don't have the attachment to the character
Yeah.
either.
I have
I
my
don't
movie
care.
pass, and like I haven't barely used it as much as I wanted to. It's kind of disappointing. I'm like, I need to go see that Annihilation movie, but I've just not gotten around to it.
Oh, Annihilation! I actually
Yeah, I've
kinda wanna
heard
see.
it's. I've heard it's
Let's
very
go
good.
see Annihilation, Ricardo. Let's go this weekend.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll do it Sunday after your works. We'll go watch it.
Aren't we doing something Sunday?
No? Are we?
Yes,
Wait, really?
Sunday evening.
Sunday evening.
Oh, before that, we'll go see it.
What's before that?
You're right,
There's no
isn't it?
time before that, you dummy.
Before that, I wake up at 6:30 p.m.
You're right. All right, fine. We'll go see it Sunday. I tried. Let's go see it Friday. I don't know.
From Shadow.
To bright sunny skies and warm waters.
Sea of Thieves.
It's launching. It's
Pigs.
coming out. Yep, they really like showing the pig locked on the camera.
It was the same shot. It was like
I
literally
honestly
the
thought
shot.
the trailer
No.
repeated itself.
That was like a little bit of that had the vibe of like a director who's like, man, I really like the shot that we got for this movie. I really like it. We gotta use it twice. It's like it's a video game, and it's not limited by the number of like it's not limited by film or the number of shots you took. You could take you could take as much footage as you want.
A completely different take of that pig.
But it's like,
but no, just
the
play
one
it
time we
again.
got the pig, but I really like it, so we gotta keep playing it.
Yeah. This game looks dope. Honestly, this game just looks like a fun playground.
Yep.
With pirates.
Yeah, it's great. But that's from the very, very, very limited demo we played, which was like pared down considerably from.
Now I'm gonna mention something in the trailer. They show the first kind of like instance of a sea monster. They show a kraken grabbing onto your ship, and Ethan commented, that gives me anxiety just watching that. Ethan, care to further comment on why that gives you anxiety?
We're gonna get killed by Kraken. It's gonna be great.
Krakens.
It seems like you're effed if that happens.
Krakens are scary. Okay.
Deep water is
like
scary.
tentacles.
Open ocean is scary.
Open ocean's scary enough.
Open ocean is terrifying.
Open ocean's terrifying, and then you have a creature that's way bigger than you and could just completely overpower you in an open ocean.
Yeah.
Fuck that. 100%.
So like,
I'm not about that.
But sea serpent. Would that be as
not as scary
scary?
because I think the thing about sea serpents are scary, but they don't wrap around your ship like a kraken does. A kraken can just be like, here's a big hug and now down you go, like sort of thing. While sea serpent is like, oh, that's scary, we can just shoot at it, but it's not gonna really take your ship down as easily. I feel like it's not just handily, just like, I feel like a kraken shows up. It's like
the kraken is like, yeah, like
fucked.
especially the way that game looks. It's like, I'm sure being a video game, there'll be some way to at least potentially, stop it from destroying your ship. But it's just like, nah, like there's it wraps its tentacle 100% around the ship. And it's just like
this mine.
You're just like you'd be just dead.
Like
you'd
the
be
fact
just dead
that
if
like
this
they
happened.
show beforehand, they show the like top side of the ship, and you see the water and it just gets dark, and it's just like under that is just hell. Like there's nothing under
that's
scary to me.
That's kind of the same thing they did for what is the Ubisoft one?
Oh, that had a hint of it at the end.
Yeah, because at the very end, they
Black
Sails. It's
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah. That sounds right.
That gave me that same sort of feeling. It's something about like something that's so massive and you can't see it. It's just scary. The ocean's scary. Let's be honest. The ocean's scary. There's a bunch of scary stuff in there, and we haven't even like as a human a human race, like we have not seen almost anything in the ocean, and it's freaking scary.
Ocean not scary when you can see the bottom. Then it's not scary.
But you can never see the bottom because it's so deep.
No, you like tropical shallow.
But
like,
if
you're snorkeling in a reef,
it's super pretty and fun.
It's like pretty. You can see the bottom. Like, look, there it is, right there.
Underwater stuff in video games will always fucking freak me out.
That's why I'm never gonna play.
I watched
that survival game that just came out recently.
In the first Planet Earth, they had that scene where it's like, we're going to show you guys spelunking underwater. And I'm like, 100% forget that. I do not want to do that ever in my life. Where they go into caves that are underground and underwater. I'm like,
That is one of my biggest fears is
it's literally
is drowning in an enclosed space.
It's literally like, hey, hey man, sorry you went the wrong way. You're dead.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's like, oh, this is too skinny for you. You shouldn't go here. Oh, you did? Oh, we cut your oxygen tank. Now you're dead. Yeah. No, I ain't about that life. Like, the ocean is not for people. That is for all other creatures. They can hang out there and have a good time. Not for humans.
From horrifying phobias and anxieties to what looks to be one of the most delightful gaming experiences imaginable. Nintendo Labo showing off the Toy-Con Garage feature in the game.
This looks cool.
Looks really, really cool.
This is like one of those things where I was kind of like, Labo, that's whatever. That's kind of cool, I guess. But like this seems awesome. Like this expands expands what you can do with those like cardboard pieces to almost infinite amounts. You can create your own things using these very simple kind of like programming logic blocks. It reminds me a lot of, I don't know, did you guys ever, I was able to acquire a Lego Mindstorm from a Goodwill.
I remember those.
And
No.
Yeah, they're really expensive, but I got one at a Goodwill for pretty cheap, if I remember right. My parents were able to buy it for me. And I played with that thing forever, trying to get it to do all sorts of like crazy things. I got the little webcam that you'd attach to it, and it would like chase things that were red. It was like very basic, very rudimentary, because webcam was like this big thick wire that like we'd have to like the Mindstorm would have to like drag through the house, and I was able to like, program stuff to be like, you can like run after the dog, and like if it recognizes it, sort of thing. And it was very basic, rudimentary. And this reminds me of that, but it seems 100% less clunky. Like you don't have any of these Lego pieces laying around. You're just using some cardboard, using these very simple, you're using the tools just based on the Switch. And kind of putting these cardboard wrappers around them to try to do these special things. Like some of the stuff they're showing is like punch a dude and the dude falls over. Like you do a motion and like it's basically the whole video is a tutorial on how to kind of basically use this garage.
Like
stuff.
drop a coin in this thing and it will sense that it needs to release the candy on the other end,
which
or
is
whatever,
bizarre
like
and insane. Like that is there's a lot of those educational tools out there like this. That you can buy, but they don't have that sort of game and creation aspect. It's like you build a thing, you build like this solar powered robot or whatever, and it'll do its thing, and you connect it to your smartphone and it does its thing. But like this allows you to do so much more. It allows you to program. It's very basic, but like you can get super creative with it, as they showed you. Like they're showing all these examples. Like imagine how much more creative people will get as they use this stuff. You know, you put the coin in, and then you have to press the button at a certain time, and it'll do it. They have this like fake looking ping pong tournament sort of thing going on, and you can create like this RC tank that I guess can shoot stuff. Like I don't know, it's all just like it's just wacky. It's so weird.
It's cute. Yeah, again, like the very basic, like if this happens, that triggers this, and the result is this, like thing. Stuff reminded me of another Nintendo title, WarioWare DIY, which was, you know, make your own micro games. And they had a very simple like system of coding where, you know, obviously you were making like 2-second games or like 5-second games or whatever. And so it was like very simple stuff of like, if, you know, you tap here, that triggers this to do this here or whatever. And it was like very rudimentary like coding to do that. I remember I made a couple of games. I made one which was they had Star Fox assets in there. So like I made one called Do a Barrel Roll, and it was you had to tap on the R wings to make them all spin, and then that passes the game or whatever. And then there was also, I made one where I made a little sprite of Gandalf and a little sprite of a Balrog. And it was like you had to time it so that when he goes, you shall not, and then you had to tap so that he could make the bridge crumble and the Balrog fall down.
That's so cool.
And I remember you could even hum into it, and it would like translate it into like a bit like a, you know, a chiptune style.
What?
And so I actually hummed a really basic, really dumb version of the Lord of the Rings like main theme in there. So like yeah, so that played when it went on. Like I still have that game. I actually am tempted to turn
that
it
game
on
is,
and see if
yeah, I've never actually seen that game. I've heard a lot of cool things about it, and you kind of make me want to check that game out.
It's cool. Because then you design the cart and it goes in a game store, and then it's like fake sale, like they generate fake sales for the little mini games that you make and stuff. Yeah, it's
weird, just like
really
Game Boy
fun.
Camera. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
this looks really awesome. I feel like it's getting to that weird sort of.
This is getting into like programming with this thing. That's what I think is so cool about it. Is that I mean similar to like what Ricardo's talking about, but you could make some. Like,
Yeah,
this is almost more of a tool than
the
yeah.
physical elements of this make it really, really cool.
And a cool learning thing for kids, like to learn
Exactly.
like basic programming concepts, you know, like if and then and like
And that's the thing. And that's a whole other like niche of kind of like toys and stuff like that. Because remember that game we saw at IndieCade, Matt, like a couple years ago, where it was like hook these like little pieces together and you can like program different games into it.
Yeah,
remember that? Like there's a whole market for that. There's another one where it's like basic coding where you get like these little like puzzle pieces and put them in this like tablet device, and then it would play a game depending on like those things. Like there's a whole market for this about making kids more adapted to like, how
I believe like
works.
the Leapfrog pads have like they sell like elements that you can that teach kids like about basic coding or whatever and stuff. But it's like this is Nintendo releasing something, so I feel like instantly it's like infinitely cooler than a lot of these other things and more appealing to kids. So hopefully
they'll be able to use those if then that application really well after this thing, like really well.
Hey, that's a good profession to go. Coding is good.
I guess what coding makes you a lot of money. Go figure.
So yeah.
Lastly, but not leastly, is the
probably leastly.
You know, the SNES Classic. What if you didn't have to buy another plastic thing to plug into your TV screen?
Cool. Can I play Mario on my PlayStation?
No.
Oh. You can program
your own Mario on a
Vector Man.
Oh.
You can play Vector Man. You can play Gunstar Heroes. You can play Comic Zone. You can play Toe Jam and Earl in the Sega Genesis Classics for PS4 and Xbox One. This is a collection of 50 Sega Genesis or Master System if you are a UK person. Oh no, excuse me, not Master System. What is it? Master System is the original one. What is the Genesis? Mega Drive. It's Mega Drive. Yeah, so I was a Genesis kid growing up, and watching this trailer gave me like a weird sense of nostalgia. And I was reading the list, and I'm like, dude, they have this, they got this, and I was just like, man, maybe I'll get this.
How much does it cost? It's like $30.
That's what's gonna decide whether I actually buy it. If it's a full $60 release, I'm gonna probably say no. But if it's like $30, I'll totally get it.
Yeah, like the Rare Replay thing. The Rare Replay was $30, so maybe they'll copy that where it's like, hey, it's a compilation.
Hope, but it's also Sega, and they're not known for making great decisions.
Sega does okay, I think, business-wise. I don't think they make the worst decisions. But
what about Sonic Forces?
Well, you know, they actually, but you know what? They also made Sonic Mania, which everyone. Really
I was gonna say, and I'd be willing to bet Sonic Forces probably didn't sell that bad, honestly.
Yeah, kids love the Sonic. Yeah, this looks cool. I would rather have this than kind of how Nintendo's been doing, where I have to buy a whole new console. I have to like put somewhere and collect dust. I'd kind of rather just have it on. Like,
who knows?
Steam.
They might do Virtual Console eventually.
Maybe. No, my subscription service to my Switch will finally pay off.
Speaking of which, did you see? Did you see Kamiya tweeting at basically subtweeting Nintendo?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said it was like before the Nintendo Direct, and he says if you do not announce Joy-Con with a cross D-pad or Virtual
like a Pro
Console
controller with a better D-pad.
Yeah, Pro Controller with better D-pad or Virtual Console, we may lose motivation to make Bayo 3. Got it, Ninty?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god, what the fuck? And then like literally the rest of his stream of his the rest of his timeline is basically him quote tweeting people, but not like in the way that's built into the thing. It's like literally him copy and pasting people with RT in front of it, and then saying stuff like "fuck off" or like "I don't care, get blocked."
I mean, it's also weird because like, you know, Bayonetta 2, like no one wanted that game except for Nintendo. Like they picked that up and was like, "Oh hey, we'll publish this game.
We'll make it a thing." Yeah. Here's a great tweet.
Let me see his tweet.
He retweeted this. This one is.
Oh god, that's pretty good. It is a picture of Bayonetta doing the hands.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, well, whatever, man. Bayonetta 3 will come out at some point.
Yeah, I mean, no one else is gonna pay for it.
Anyway, so what wins, guys?
What wins?
Sea of Thieves. I mean, actually, the thing that got me most excited was Nintendo Labo.
I was gonna say, I think that Labo Toy-Con Garage just kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, I'm still not gonna get a Labo, but I mean, that trailer was definitely.
The trailer did kind of convince me almost to get a Labo, but I'm probably not going to.
Yeah.
Surviving Mars trailer is really good too, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Survival Mars trailer is really good.
I think that name is bad, and I think I don't want any survival elements in my sim games.
I mean, every sim game you're trying to survive, man. Think about SimCity, dude. What about those monsters coming in? They gonna trash your place, dude. The natural disasters, bro.
Man, you're right. The UFOs.
UFOs.
The UFOs.
The government confirmed the UFOs. Anyway.
And George Jefferson's in one of them.
So Nintendo Labo. That's the winner.
Labo.
Nintendo Labo is the winner this week. It is declared victory over all of its rivals. It is washing their blood.
Indeed.
Nintendo Labo.
And then when you were washing their blood,
it gets all
makes
soggy.
it makes this guy go.
If a wash in blood, then Joy-Con vibrate. And then it gets all, and then the cardboard gets all soggy, and you have to get a new set, and it's really
Shit.
Well, thank you all for watching, listening, whatever you were doing during this this pod zone. We thank you for listening. Words are hard. You can check us out on pixellegends.com. If you've been watching on twitch.tv/pixel_legends, then if you wouldn't mind giving us a like, a subscribe, a whatever,
Wait,
a
what
follow.
one? I blanked out for a second.
Labo.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
You voted for it. You voted for it. Yes, you can. Now I've lost all the
Sorry.
things, and I was already on a rough track. This whole podcast has been on a rough track for me. Yes, subscribe, like, do all the things. Rate us on iTunes. Pixel_legends on Twitter. pixellegends.com with 1 L. And catch us next week. We will be recording another podcast Thursday night on Twitch. Sounds like we're going to be doing a Twitch stream for Sea of Thieves. That'll be at least me and Ethan. Hopefully some guests, some other people will be on that as well. Ricardo should get in on it. You should download the free trial thing. You might as well. It's not going to hurt you.
I'll mod the chat, which I'm sure is gonna be bumping.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna need a mod because we're gonna break the record.
We're gonna break the record. We're
700.
Be Drake.
700,000 concurrent viewers tuning in to watch us play Sea of Thieves.
God's plan.
We don't need Drake. I can exclusively announce here we will be getting Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson,
Sea of
yeah!
Thieves.
I love Dwayne Johnson. He's my favorite.
He is the biggest star, bigger than Drake.
I mean,
I mean, he's physically bigger than Drake. Like, have you seen him?
He's physically bigger than most people. So,
yes, Dwayne Johnson playing Sea of Thieves. Thus, don't miss it. See you next week. Pixel Legends.
The Rock says.